Good morning, world, wherever you're joining us from. Let's take a moment to be grateful because you're not at the dentist. Yay! You're listening to the Life and In Between podcast because we're here to fill your head with knowledge, not fill your teeth with all the resin. And everybody, grab your cup of coffee because we have two wonderful special guests all the way from Canada. Find
Canada.
out what those Canadians actually think of us down here. We're going to find out. So it'll be fun. But please help me welcome our tour guide for the day, our mother matron, Diana Gonzalez Lebu.
Thank you so much, Patrick. I am so excited today, and I want to welcome our guests today. Today, I'm excited to introduce Stephen and Julie Wagstaff. They are a power couple. I'm going to tell you this right now. They're a power couple. They're amazing. So I know that Stephen is a founder and CEO of SwagAbility, and it's a nonprofit helping people thrive through the toughest challenges that they face. But I'm not gonna give you everything because I'm gonna allow Stephen to talk about it. And then also, Julie has a wonderful short. Well, I would say one of the things that we either experience ourselves or have a loved one where they have to have some health issues or face the difficult thing of hearing the news of being having cancer, and she is a cancer survivor here that will actually talk about her journey. So like I said, these two are a power couple. They're here to tell us everything and how they thrived, how they succeeded, how with the guidance of God in their life, they're here to tell their story. So thank you for joining us today.
All the way from the north. Yeah.
From
Yeah, we've been,
Canada.
yeah, the big Canada. Yeah. That loves our friends and family to the south. Yeah. We were just talking about that off camera, but yeah, happy to be here. Happy to share our story, a little bit about what God's done in our backyard over the last number of years, and answering questions you have, and have a great conversation between friends. Um, and get rid of that stereotype border in the sand between two countries. There's couldn't be further from the truth from Canada's perspective anyway, and the majority of our population. I won't say I speak on everyone's behalf, but it's just something played out politically, definitely not within the people. Um, but we just came back from spending some time in the US, and we will be back. We love it there. We live 15 minutes from the border of Maine. We're pretty much on part of your 51st state anyway. So, SwagAbility came about after a 7-month hospital stay by me back in 23, followed by a cancer, a couple major cancer operations my wife went through. And it was me trying to figure out what my legacy, what did I want to leave behind to the world? Because at that time, I didn't know if I was coming out. I was fighting infections. I was running out of antibiotic options, and I've been a quadriplegic since I broke my neck at age 19. So it's 30 plus years ago. And I was trying to think about the next young kid that innocently, however it happens, no alcohol, but whatever, innocently has a spinal cord injury, car accident, whatever it is. And I thought, what have I got? Oh, okay, I pastored, I preached, but what if I passed on that could be like more practical knowledge they can use in terms of decision making and what things to stay plugged into, like stay with physio, do it your whole life, even though you think you've maxed out the amount of return you're going to get. And so I just went on and started a handheld little mic and my iPhone, and just started to talk about products I found that were handy to us. But then it just kind of started to snowball from there, and we we started a nonprofit on the Canadian side, organization trying to get our charitable status, and then we started into the U.S. as well because, like I said, we're all one, and there's young people and people there that are dealing with what I call life altering circumstances, life altering situations. And so, where there's people and there's a need, that's where my heart is. It's for people. Um, and so, we wanted to be offer free counseling, free life coaching, and then any funds that we raise and bring in, we want to give directly back out to them in the terms of in assistive technology, adaptive aids where people don't have coverage, mobility aids, anything that we could say, you know what, this at 30 years, you're going to find really handy in your relationship, or something that's really going to help you out. I suggest you do whatever. And veterans, we took in our veterans on the Canadian and the American side. And then we just came up with a statement that said, like, our desire is to see people thrive wherever life finds them, whatever walk of life it is, whatever. Whenever life-altering circumstances come in, we look back on our life and go, we don't know it all, but we've got enough scars that we don't want to waste them. And we've healed from them, but they've left their mark. And from leaving that mark, what can those scars pass on to someone else? And so, we look back at our life of losing a child, of losing our parents, you at 10, me and when I was 20, and then dealing with cancer and quadriplegic and losing your sister at 37 that left 11 children behind, ages 14 to a newborn. Not that we know it all, but we've gone through enough life, and that we hope to just be able to answer questions of people. We may not have the answer, but at least give people the opportunity to fire off a question, or to get on a conversation with us, to just say, how did you make it through? Or when it was so dark, how did you roll your next revolution to get to where you are now? And that's really what SwagAbility is all about. And so, yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And you can flesh it out more by asking questions as opposed to me trying to remember things by rote. So I'll give it back to you to try and figure us out up here in Canada.
Oh my gosh, this is you guys are both a true inspiration, because from what you have told us in the audience is you've encountered so many life challenges, and many people will cave in and take them into a really dark place, whether they will alcohol or substance abuse, or they find some type of device to numb that. But I'm hearing on your end, you took a different turn. You didn't, your device was, it sounds like it's positive. And I mean, and last time we spoke, when we were pre-interviewing, you're pure of light, positivity. Where do you get that inspiration is my very first question. Where do you get that when,
We can't say it's like bunny rabbits and roses and rainbows all the time. I don't want to pass on that perception, because it is dark, and there are days where we're not like this. But we've realized that, yeah, there is a time to cry. There's a time for sorrow. You need that for healing. We found true healing in humor, really, a lot. And then we found that I've been through that stage where it's easy to numb it with opioids or whatever else. But I found the most valuable thing that I found in life that you can't put a price on is productivity and positivity. Like when you can speak into someone's life and see them become better from it. There isn't a drug out there. There isn't a dollar amount that I feel, as many wants as we do have, or as whatever. I don't think you can trade helping someone out and seeing them reap the benefit and be in a better place than that. And so that's our high, if you will, is to see someone else in a better place. Where it comes from, ultimately, deep down, it's our faith, what Christ has done for us, and out of recognition of we don't deserve anything we have, but what we have is given to us through him. It's just our desire to live out practically what religion doesn't offer, but what we found that in what we would say our relationship with Christ, how that's changed us from the inside out, that we didn't find in religion, and many of them we studied and chased, but that's where I guess the burning underneath desire comes from. But Julie, please add on to that. I'm always the accelerator, gas to the floor type of person. I need my person to bring me back to reality with the brake and parachute that balances me. And that's what I love every bit about someone that does that for me. So what am I missing, and what have I
just
overpainted?
To build on that, I think it during all of those traumas or sad times, those broken times, that's been our constant, and our stability has been the fact that we have a personal relationship with the Lord. There, as Steve was saying, yes, we have that hope. I mean, if I'm honest with you, there have been many times of extreme anger and frustration and bitterness and hopelessness in those situations, whether it's angry at the situation or I have been angry at God. Why? This is not what I want right now, or this is not what I would have chosen. But in all of that, whether it's in flashing lights or not, it's usually that still small voice that gets you up in the morning, that gives you that little push to continue on with life, to know that there still is purpose in the pain. There's still a hope at the end of all of life. And, that's all I could tell people is, at the time, I don't know how I'm going through this or how we're making this next step, but you just kind of feel like somebody's just giving you that little tap on the behind to keep going,
tomorrow there's
one
something
step,
else.
one step.
Yeah.
And
tomorrow there's something else.
So that's like, if that's how we've managed to get through life and through struggles and trials, and come out the other side surviving, we may look a little wind blown, but we survived, then we'd love to be able to come along others to say that there is hope through those trials, through those times and seasons of life that aren't going to last forever. But this is how we've done it. We've experienced it. We want to hold your hand through this, because there's been times that we would have loved to have someone's hand to hold and we didn't. So let's make a community. Let's come alongside each other and help each other through these times.
Yeah. What's perfectly normal to be out kicking a lawnmower at 4 p.m, screaming. It's a release. I get it. She's not hating me. She's hating the situation. Or for me, bawling my eyes out and just, I don't want to do tomorrow or whatever. And then being told, well, what's your other option? And you realize that there isn't another option. And that when you're thinking about, that's, what relief is there in that? And what does that leave for me? And so it's balancing each other's ideas, thoughts, feelings, and the whole bit, and saying, you know what, it's okay to think like that. We're with you. I think the biggest thing we can offer is that there is hope. No storm stays forever, even though in the middle of it does seem like that. And just when you think that you're going under or whatever reason it is, I usually find that I find someone else that's in a worse situation than me. And I go, wait a second, I can help in that. Like, let me tell them how I experienced or how I felt. And in that situation, it's when I looked beyond myself and at someone else that was in a lot worse situation than me, I realized, like, I got a lot to be grateful for, because look where they are. And that's our desire. That's it. You got nothing to sell, but hope that you can get through this. You really can. Anyone can.
I love
The
that.
perspective shifting the perspective and finding a heart calling despite the the cruelties of life, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I've heard a comment once, and I've tried to sort of take that into my own mindset in terms of perspective to say a lot of times we go, oh, this is happening to me. Something's happening to me. But instead of having that as my perspective where it's all negative, is taking it to say, this is happening for me. So almost like you're a student. So in the trials, in the struggles, what is something that I can be learning during this? And then through that, it does change your perspective. And then you're able to, again, through it, offer that hope to someone else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's so hard to kind of navigate. Because I'm imagining you said you had an injury, Stephen, at 19 that left you.
Yeah, I was, but that did change me, not just
mm-hmm.
physically. We knew one another younger.
Mm.
I just didn't even think relationally, which is the funny part is you can tell that story too. But yeah, I was 19, but pre that, I was an arrogant sports jock. Basically, I was good. I knew it. Um, Loved, like, thought I could make a living playing baseball. Play a lot of basketball too, but baseball. And so I saw people looking down. I looked down at people. I didn't look at them as whatever. And yeah, it was a Friday afternoon, August 2nd, 1996. I can still remember the day, smell it, taste it, everything. Just a hot day. I went down with some friends. Always the life of the party, fully clothed on a Friday afternoon. We're going out that night. And here I was. I just ran headlong down a dock, 60 feet long, and dove out into the water. And there was a sandbar I didn't know about. So
No.
broke my neck instantly, and instantly I had no movement from my shoulders down. Like I couldn't move. I was remember like watching the silt and the sand kind of settle below me, and I was trying to swim, and I couldn't figure out, like, there's nothing happening.
Oh
And
man.
then I was like, I can't breathe because I had enough cognizance to know, like, if I suck in right now, I'm gonna breathe in water and I'm done. And so I just held on for the longest period. Like, it couldn't have been more than 15 seconds, but those 15 seconds felt like an eternity. And just when I was about to breathe in, and I'm panicking, trying to hold it under control, and I hear screaming and things. There was a cruise boat that was going by offshore, and they had seen it happen. And anyway, save time. Spoiler alert, someone got to me. A friend turned me over in the water, and then he dropped me again. And I thought, oh, he's scared. He's going to run to call 911 or whatever, but he's thinking I'm already dead or whatever. So I'm laying back in the water again for the second time, face down, going, I just lost my one hope of saving me. He's on his
Oh my
way to
gosh.
get out the phone. And so I'm back under the water again, this time thinking like, ah, duh, I should have grabbed a breath, first of all. But secondly, it's done from here. And that's when my second friend got to me and he rolled me over. But they had been saying to him, don't lift him up, like, don't pick him up. And I realized after that it wasn't fear. It was like, oh, okay, turn him over, float him there. And I will say this, that at that moment, even though like it was chaos everywhere around, I had a peace come upon me that I have never felt since that time. And like looking back later on it now, and um, I'm not some religious freak. I take the scripture at its word. The Bible talks about a peace that passes all understanding. I'm like, there it was, right? When death comes at that time, we will have that. And from that point on, life was a blur. I was flown down to Toronto, spent a year in a rehab hospital, and then 7 years of physio after. that, but I was okay. And there was an anticipation inside me that finally I can just be who I really am. And it was like, I don't have to act a different way. I'm okay with who I am. And I got a different platform now to speak from in a different way. And trust me, I wasn't always this lucid, like calm. It wasn't always like this. I was not, but more than not, I have always now looked and going, I've always had a heart for people, but I've always hid it to that point. Now, whether it was an insecurity, which I think it really was as a teen and younger years, um, I just love people and want to help out the best I can in life. So that's my story.
And Julie, so y'all were together, or y'all knew each other at this time?
Go ahead, honey.
Yes, we were friends, just from church youth group. Yeah, so after his accident, more so, I guess, when you came home from the hospital, we just started hanging out a bit more. Our best, well, my best friend and Steve were dating before his accident, and so that was hard because I had always had a crush on him, and so there was a lot of jealousy there. But
I
eventually,
always said that woman is never going to marry anyone because she's always bitter when she's around us. Like I'd say that to my girlfriend, I'd be like, I was never going to marry anyone because her attitude stinks. And then Teresa would be like, she's going to be fine. She's gone through a lot. I'm like, she always going through a lot. So I was like, that girl's never going to marry it. So we laugh at it, but I truly thought that, and you never thought we'd ever. But it was just one of those things. It was really cute and unique.
just life changed, and we just started hanging out a bit more together, and
best friends became best friends. Friends became best friends, and then I married my best friend, and to this day, still managed to be best friends.
Yes, it has bothered me before. Some people have made the comment, "Oh, you're, like I'm some superhero because I married a guy in a wheelchair," and it bothers me because I'm not. I'm just me, and I knew Steve before his accident, but I knew him afterwards, and he didn't change. Like Steve Wagstaff was still Steve Wagstaff before and after his accident.
Sat down a lot more.
Just sat down a bit more. But I don't know why, but I've never seen the chair. I've never seen the paralysis as something that needs to be feared or as awkward. Or, I mean, yes, there's learning curves and there's things that have changed, but even now there's been times where I'll say to him, "Oh, can you just get that or go do something?" And you remember, I can't do that. And it's just an oblivious moment you have where you just forget that, oh yeah, right, you can't just get up and walk and go do that. But it's never been an issue for me. It never was. I just knew that I liked this guy, and I'm thankful for the accident, because we would never have been together had it not happened.
Yeah.
So not that the river knocked some sense into him, I think.
I remember she just started to date my cousin, and I found out later you did it because you thought it would make me jealous. And then I was,
oh wow.
So here I am congratulating. I'm like, I was legit ready to get you guys a wedding gift and everything. I'm like, but then she's like, that backfired. And I was like, well, you should have just told me. I never thought relationship ever again, because I think want families, and I've been capable of having a family. It's not the way normal families are born. And so I just never saw a relationship in the cards. I heard about that in private and whatever. So I just kept being me, like jokester, kind of, people person. And it took her friend to be like, hey, like, can you drive her home from the library because she really likes you? And I'm like, what? Like, really? No, you don't mean like. And then from that day, it was like that one drive home turned into a bunch of drives home. And then, yeah, it's just been really good. Really
That's
good.
a win. That's a huge win. Wow.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, there's days when we're both going, yeah, what did we do wrong? But
That's marriage.
that's marriage.
Takes
Yeah,
work.
it does take work. And we've gone through counseling too. We thought we were going to lose it back in a few years ago. But we realized that everyone needs to talk about things at some point. Like, even when you've got the best attitudes in the world, you run into situations where you're just like, how are we doing this and still making it work? Something has to change because life changes. My physical abilities keep getting harder. She's not able to do what she could before. And so, yeah, there's times where we just can't see past a certain point. But then I would say to others, what we've learned to is reach out to talk to somebody, because if it weren't for that somebody that spent time with us over a period of a couple months, we wouldn't have been who we are today, and SwagAbility wouldn't have been there. So, yeah, you got to reach out. Yeah, turning in is often not a good thing. We both tried it; it didn't work.
Yeah. No, this is so good. It's because everybody has wounds, everybody has injuries, and
Absolutely.
inside, there's a point where it comes that like you're waiting for someone to come along and flip you over, help you physically, and people can do that for you in relationships. Like, let's talk about communication and emotional quotients and that kind of thing. So
And it doesn't have to be like, well, I'm not a quadriplegic. I only have X. No, your problem on your day is still whatever, a 10 out of 10 to you. There's no comparison to, well, I can't talk because look what they're going through. And that's not the case. Like, it's the same thing with pain. Pain is pain, whether you've got like experiencing a 10 out of 10, 8 out, doesn't matter. Pain is pain. It still needs to be treated. And so's everyone's bad days. Like, bad days need help. And so there is no, well, I can't talk to them because look what no, talk to the person. There is no, there should be no level of, here's how high you've got to jump in order before you can talk to somebody. It's reach out, grab a lifeline, and do life together. There's a reason we're all still here, and it isn't so we can fight with one over. It's so we can help each other get past that next day. I think if the world looked a lot more side by side at level with one another to help one another out, man, this universe would be a different thing.
oh yeah.
But just my viewpoint.
I'm hogging this conversation. Sorry, Deanna. What would you say for our listeners and for me? I'm 7 years married, but what are the three keys that you would say that you've learned that would help navigate relationships, bringing together?
Mhm.
Uh, and I'll even throw it out there. I have a very avoidant pattern. So when we need to have a conversation, I just
Mhm.
because I'm used to skimming the top and going fast and job
Me-
life.
That's me too.
Nah.
Uh, I'll give you the three: communication, communication, and communication. It's
Yeah.
true. It
I was looking
is.
for anything but that.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I don't like that part either. Yeah.
No. I do. My first tendency is to, yeah, avoid conflict, avoid conversation. Don't want to have it. Don't want to argue. Not that you do. It's just, but there is that time, and that is a good trait to have. Like, things do need to reach a point where you cool down, come back with smoother perspectives where you can just sit across and talk about it. Often in the heat of the moment isn't time. There is time for that, but often it's not in the heat of the moment. I would say communication. I would say having a hope for tomorrow for us. That's our faith.
I
That's
like that. You hope
what we
for tomorrow.
studied. You gotta have hope for something tomorrow in more than just yourself. So whether that's in investing in someone else's life, seeing someone at a different point that you know that you can maybe meet a need, or putting yourself out there, even if you can't meet that need, to say, hey, I don't think I don't know how much I have to offer, but I've got my time, that can sit down and listen, or we can go for coffee. At least have a few bucks in my pocket if they don't. Can I get you something for me? Whatever. Buying a flat of water for a guy when we were in Florida, like, I mean, that was $1 million to him and his dog, and it was only a few bucks to go to the store. You were coming out from gas, and so anyway, I don't want to tell, like, we're not a bunch of do-gooders. I would just say have an eye for somebody else. Relationally, I said communication. What would you say?
That's probably the same thing. For our marriage, that's definitely, yeah, you're an avoider. I am, let it build up until it just, blah, it's everywhere, messy. And so both communications, like learning when to do it, how to do it.
I would say too, being what's the word I'm looking for, about not passive, but
intentional.
Being intentional. Thank you. Being intentional about spending time, because if you're not, like, podcasting, nonprofit, like, you'll spend every bit of your effort doing the things you love and you're naturally drawn towards doing. And a relationship, after that, everyone says, oh, the honeymoon phase, whatever, like, you have to be intentional after that. It is, marriages work, relationships are work. They're not always in that, the first time you hold someone's hand, you feel like there's 20,000 volts of lightning going through you. That's there in a relationship, but you do have to work at keeping that, and it becomes being intentional with time. And I guess the third one, if I had to be, is honesty. It's like, yeah, you can talk what you want with one another. You can spend all the time you want with one another, but if you're not truly, this is what I'm thinking, help me to not think that way, or tell me your thoughts on this, or this is what I'm struggling with. Because carrying stuff around is just like a hot cup of, when we don't drink tea or coffee, you're going to spill it somewhere eventually. So whatever that level of hot liquid you're carrying around in you, sooner or later, you're going to bump someone that's going to spill out. So I just say being honest. You asked for 3. That's about 3 I can come up with.
No, this is good. Yeah. No, it's helpful, and to be on the same journey, and because I know a lot of people, we can see the snippets on social media. It's like, oh my gosh, Valentine's is coming up, and look how much they're in love, and it's like this curated snippet of their life. I want to see them when they're yelling at the lawnmower. Like,
yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you got a few more, never mind, I won't go that far. A few more rolls to wash between in the morning. I mean, you're not, when those abs turn into rolls, you gotta, you love the person for being the person. Trust me, like, we all age, we all get old, but and then I got a fourth one. Try to laugh in life. Honestly, humor has been the healing balm for everything for us, whether you're falling out of your chair in the middle of a mall or whatever. Embarrassment is going to be a part of life. But if you can laugh with yourself and at yourself, for some things, then you can get through a lot of stuff. It's like when I was teaching public speaking. It's just like, when you make the student, they hated it. We're probably taking way longer in this conversation. We need to, but anyway, I taught public speaking when I went back to school, and for about 7 years. Yeah, they dreaded the class, but by the end, it was their favorite one of the semester. It was because we learned to, I taught everyone, we learned to laugh, yes, at someone, but with someone, because it'll be your time to laugh too. And it's not at how bad they're doing, it's how bad you're going to mess up when it comes to your turn. So why not it's nervous energy. So anyway, learning to laugh is great. But yeah, that's the Wagstaffs, and that's SwagAbility in a nutshell.
like it. No, it's
Yeah.
That is some good stuff. It's some great stuff that you're sharing, and people that are going through these difficult challenges in their marriage, and it's overall, no matter what point they're on in their life. So you actually highlighted some really great points. I did want to ask one point, for example, right now with the longevity of people's lives going through right now. And we, at one point or another, we're going to find ourselves as caregivers for someone that we love. And whether it's our parents, whether it's someone that we love in the situation, what are the first recommendations like? And I asked this more on a personal level. My mom has been diagnosed with Parkinson's, and she's progressively getting worse. And it's one of those challenges where I see her spirit dimming. And so what ways, in not making her feel incompetent or feeling like, what advice can you give someone as a caregiver?
I will start first by, and then I'm going to turn over to you because, but I would say that number one, caregiving, what mental health was probably 20, 30 years ago. Closet sickness, don't talk about it still, but at least it's recognized as an illness and we talk about it now. Caregiver burnout is that right now, because who wants to admit that they start to develop resentment towards someone, and it's not the someone, it's the something that they have to do for the someone. Every one of us would get there. And I only say that because when Julie went through her cancer operations, I was on the other side of the bed for the first time in my life, and I was in awe of how tiring, not for doing things for her, but I couldn't fix her. And when you can't fix someone and you can just watch them go through what they're going through, that's at another level that I never thought I would feel. And then I turned around and realized she's been doing this for like 26 years and then 3 years of dating. So I would just say to people, like, that's one of the things we recognize at SwagAbility, and we want to bring in help. But I think I would just say this: you've got to see the illness, not the person, because it's not them, and it's not fair all the time. One parent may live closer to someone, you feel they may be doing more, and as a pastor, I see it all the time. It's like resentment builds up so quickly when caregiver burnout comes upon people, and so we need to get that out there that caregivers need help in every which way, and but this is your subject of me being on the other
I'm
side.
not a professional by any means.
No.
I'm still learning. I guess it is, say, in your situation, have you had those conversations with your mother yet about caregiving for her? That's probably where I would start. I'm just thinking of my own parents, and having those conversations. So at this point, do you require help? Or if you see that it is needed, then suggesting maybe there's some areas where we could have someone come in and help you in these areas, whether it's yourself, another family member, if people can afford to have home care come in. I know the other thing is I would suggest reading up on caregiver burnout. It's something that I had no idea about at all until we were in the thick of it. And when our marriage was almost gone and we reached out for counseling, it was the counselor who said, "This is what I believe you're experiencing." And that's how I found out there was even such a thing as caregiver burnout. And so now I'm much more aware of what are some of those warning signs and or symptoms. It's just like any other kind of illness in a way, that there are, you're fatigue, you're getting, as Steve mentioned, there's resentment starting to build. There's all these other aspects to it. So to be mindful of those, so that if you are helping or another family member is helping, that when you start to notice those things creeping up, that you're able to then say to yourself, I need to step back and I need to have some outside help come in and assist here because I need a break. And it doesn't mean forever. It could mean I just need a weekend away. I need a week away, or I just, just to have that distance to be able to, you need time for yourself. And that's one thing that I didn't realize because I felt like it was selfish or you'd feel guilty, is that I need time to fuel myself. I've been giving and giving and I'm so empty. Like I haven't slept, I haven't eaten, I haven't been able to take a breath or whatever it may be. Sometimes it may mean you just have to go out for a walk. For me, sometimes that's all it is. I need to go out with the dogs. I go for a ski. I go for a hike. That's my sort of my refresher. My reset is to be outside in nature. But it's for others. And I should add on to that by saying we do now have home care. For the longest time, it was something we weren't ready for. We thought, no, we'll get it when we're 60, 70 years old, but we didn't foresee that it would happen this soon. And so it was such a challenge. I struggled with I don't need to give up that job. I can do it. I can do everything. That's always been my mindset. I can do it all. And then Steve, obviously when someone's doing personal care, that's hard. That to be comfortable with someone else other than your wife or maybe another family member, that's personal. That's hard to just say, okay, yeah, sure, let's have someone else come in and do that. So it was a struggle, but we were, our family was very good about continuing to sort of push, not suggest. I say push because they saw that this is what you need and you need this help. So it was gently pushing, but to say you need help. You can't do everything else. You can't do everything yourself anymore as much as you want to. And they saw the pain, they saw the struggle, and they unfortunately have busy lives themselves because we're all young. So to have them come in, they knew it wasn't feasible for them. So they suggested reaching out, and we thought, well, financially we can't afford it. And that's usually the holdback for some people. But when we found out about some government programs and we were able to have assistance that way, to be able to have someone come in now for a few hours in the morning, and they help Steve get ready. And it's just a little bit of a help for me that I'm able to say do training with their dogs. We have a service dog and one in training. So that was getting really neglected. And so now I'm able to take that time that I was not free in the mornings to be able to work with them or do groceries or just something else in the day that was, maybe having to be pushed off, or I'm working super late because I don't get things done during the day. So
I think you need to have a conversation too, like you said, with your mom, just to bring up the idea of like, Mom, things are going to get harder. Or I've noticed that, you're not able to do as much as you want. Is it like, again, it's that level of honesty. It's like, do you want help with those things? Does it bother you if I help you with those things? And then you get an idea of gauging how much can I do personally with this, or how can I come over and be like, oh, I was just dropping this off, but while I'm here, why don't I do this? And when you reframe it in their mind and help them become okay with it, because she said at 48, I wasn't ready to come in and have people younger than me do those things. I knew one day it might come, but so when we were able to talk about it honestly, and I saw that Julie's phrase this right, no good to me in the area of caregiving when she's not poured into herself. She has nothing left to give to me. So when she neglects herself, going away with girlfriends or getting away, we reach that point of gridlock again. And so that's where I've become okay with it. And so those conversations, like Julie suggested, especially in the early days, are really good because you can get a gauge as what she needs. And yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just thinking with the mom's perspective, those conversations are key. So she can tell you how much she's ready for or not. And then, you know, life has a funny way of, whether we want it or not, when need finally does arrive, it's better to talk to it beforehand, because at least I'll understand why it's coming in. I may not like it at first, but at least I'll have an understanding of why it's there. And then I don't know what I'd do without. Look at this morning, we were late. I don't know what I'd do without them. I miss them. So those are just areas that I think would be good for you to have or others to have as well.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. But I'm sorry, Patrick. Did you have anything to ask? Because I can't hear you. Can't hear you, Patrick. You're on mute.
Okay.
Just kidding. The coffee hasn't hit. No, that's all. I was just thinking, like, down the road, we all cross this path, and I try to push it down the road.
That's the thing about disabilities. Like, I don't mind. I'm comfortable with third handicap, disability, you name it. I mean, there's ableist police out there. I mean, I'm going to hear comments for even using the word ableist, but it's become the new whatever ism of our time. I don't have time for it. It's just, everyone is moving in and out of disability. You're born into an inability to take care of yourself. You just don't know it. Your mother's taking care, whatever. You reach a point of independence, and we'll go out the other way. You can't. I mean, we can't help it. You're going to go through a point where you're unable or disabled to do something that you could before. So let's just be real about it. Authenticity is what every person should be striving for. And I say that with all pointing back at myself. If I'm not authentic with others as to who really God made me, who I am, or whatever, I'm putting on a charade, authenticity is what really makes people us. And if we could all be a little bit more like that, we'd be in a lot better place. Really would. Yeah.
That is a great point. That's like a mic drop moment. Like, yes, love that. That is. And I did want to ask one thing, another thing that in regards to currently right now, where is SwagAbility? Tell me where you stand and what's the future of it right now. I know that you explained about it a bit, but tell us a little bit more about it, because I think it's a really important cause and organization that you started. So you're nonprofit.
You want to go, or let me take it?
The future of it?
I'll start.
I don't know.
We you think about the question a little bit more, and I'll engage my mouth. We were working on we're a federally registered nonprofit in Canada. Before you can get to charitable status in any country, you have to become a registered nonprofit first. You can't just jump to charity status, or you can issue tax receipts. So right now we're a registered nonprofit in Canada and the US, able to receive donations. Everything that comes into us goes back out to the people. That's why we wanted it, not for an income for ourselves. It's not that at all. We can't keep anything that comes in. That's why it's a not for profit. So anything goes back out to people. And we're going to apply for our 501c3, which will be charitable status on the US side. It's just we haven't, my wife and I personally don't have the income or funding yet to be able. It's about $2,800, I think, to file for it, and that's about almost $5,000 Canadian for us to apply for that 501c3. But once we get that, we're able to then any amount coming in can be given. we can send out a tax receipt so people can be reimbursed for the giving at tax season. And I know that's important to some people. The future of it is that's where we will be. We're not stopping what we do unless God takes us home or it says no more. But we're here to offer, like I said, the counseling, coaching, and any financial support that is there to be applied for. They can reach out on our website or an email info@swagability.com to inquire about those things we offer. And I think also our podcasts, especially on our website or on our YouTube, as we grow that, the more our word gets out. So podcasting has become really important for us because it enables to have these conversations, which are super difficult to put in text. So doing these type of shows, you guys being gracious to give us a voice, helps us from this tiny little spot in Eastern Canada where you can hardly see your neighbor. It's getting out into the North American world and global. I think SwagAbility has so much potential. We just need to get the right wind and people behind it. And one of these days it will, or we'll just be ministering to the people that God brings into our life. So that's kind of the process of it now. Did I miss anything that you're thinking of?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Doing more of these has been really cool. I think I just said to you, you're like the third or fourth, maybe the third one we've done together. I love it. I don't know if you enjoy it, but it's so much better than doing these solo. But I guess more confidence I have. But thank you for giving us the opportunity because it just allows us to get it to your crowd and your crowd share it to others. And that's how things go. Just like a germ, you can pass it along. I guess that's not the greatest marketing slogan, so I could really like a germ.
My
But
little one just passed germs on to us. My wife is sick, and I think I'm on the beginning stages
oh
now.
no, yeah, those,
So,
But it builds our immune system, so germs are good, you know?
that's right. Like swagability. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a germ. I can see that neon lights now.
Oh,
Like a
dear.
germ, swagability.
It's like, I do just to continue on that follow-up question in regards to that. So I know that donations. Do you also like receive physical donations? So, for example, if we hear a company I mean, do you receive physical donations? Donations of yes,
Yes, we can offer receipt, but until we have that 501(c)(3)
right,
status, when they turn them into the IRS, they won't receive whatever benefit. Like we've never made enough money to know what getting a tax receipt does. We just know to big companies that's really important. So we're desperately trying to get our 501(c)(3). We've had a lot of trouble in Canada. I hope this goes viral in Canada because our government is really frustrating when you try and get your charitable status, even though with what we're doing and all that, they still manage to find loopholes and point to old tax code and things. Like the company that filed for us said, we've never seen a more solid case not get accepted in Canada. So I hope our fellow Canadians get this and push this because our government is ridiculous to not allow us to have it. And that's about as fired up as I get. But anyway, it's frustrating in our own country. So, but we have great hope in the U.S. that um, they're ready to file for us, and they said you'll have no trouble getting it. We're just trying to raise enough funds to be able to file for our 501(c)(3) in the U.S., which would then give us the ability to be able to receipt companies that can afford to give to us, be able to receipt them something that would do them good at tax time. But federally registered in both companies as a nonprofit, so any funding that comes in we're responsible for making sure it goes back out to the people and fully public, transparent about it. You could ask us anything. Um, if you give, you can pick up the phone or email us, and we will let you know where those funds have been spent because we're big proponent of just what you see is what you get. Here's where your money's come in. Here's where it went out. You don't have anything to hide.
thank you so much for that. And again, just as a reminder, so if someone wants to reach out to you and say, you know, we want to help out and donate, where would be the best place again, just as a reminder?
Yeah. We have an email, donations@swagability.com, that they can either e-transfer, give to that number, but we also have a campaign. If they can go to our site, there's a button that says donate, swagability.com, SWAG, like swag, ability, all one word, .com. And there's a big donate button you can't miss. And that's handled by a company that takes 0% of your cut. They don't take anything off the giving, and they don't take anything off of what we take. They've been a great partner with us, and yeah, they're in America as well. So no funding goes to a second party that's skimming on taking anything off the top. So yeah, been a great partner. Zephy, I should mention them, but they just passed doing $1 billion, I think, this last year in donations. They're exclusively for nonprofits. That's all they work with. They're not a GoFundMe, but they've been a great partner and save you hundreds when people give. So if anyone else is looking to for a nonprofit, someone to handle their giving, Zephy's an excellent option because they see the needs out there, and all that they want to do is be that go-between to handle the funding, newsletters, and all that. And they only exist on people's good heart of saying, I'll check a box to give 50 cents of this, but they don't automatically take anything. So good company.
Great company. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
I know that we're really coming up close at time right now.
Yeah.
Before I ask my few final questions, I just have like two to ask. Patrick, do you want to ask anything, or?
I'm good. I am.
He's having a hard time here.
Going. Y'all are awesome. So thank y'all for the wisdom and the guidance on things.
We thank you for the airtime. So, and get better soon, please. Yeah, like 17 hours of go. That's going to take anyone down. So, go pass your germs like a SwagAbility.
Love that. And just to final close, I do have a question, and it's both directed to both you and Julie. For our listeners right now that are actually transitioning right now, whether it's on the caregiver side or whether it's the person that is actually going through a dark moment or going through very, that difficult time, and they're going through their life in between moment, that transition, what words of encouragement you can provide to them that they can walk away with?
I would just say, I'll start. You think it's like when we order dinner, I get the menu first so I can stall for her. I would say this: if you're on the receiving side of it, whatever age you are, you've got to understand whether it's your partner or wife that's volunteering to do it or someone that's coming in. They love, for the most part, they love what they do and they're good at what they do. And it's not odd to them to do what they do. And so for the most part, you're going to find, I mean, sift through who that is you're asking. But caregivers, for the most part, love what they do and they're good at it and it's not abnormal. And realize too that if you're resisting it, you're taking energy and that you're trying to do that thing you're doing, but spending, for me, it was an hour and a half trying to get ready. All that energy I was spending and time spending, I now have that to give back out to Julie, to do things. And I have that physical energy reserved to spend it on those things that really matter, as opposed to being frustrated at not being able to take care of this or that. So I look at the upside of what it's allowed me to do compared to the downside of what it was embarrassment, or it's kind of, I don't want them in my space, in our house, but they really, for the most part, become like family. But you've got to find the right people. Make sure you're fussy, be very fussy. And it's okay to say this isn't a good fit. Don't worry about that. Worry about your comfort level with them. And if it's a spouse, again, it's those honest conversations. I can't. I'm struggling getting these on. And for her, it can be the honesty of saying, you're going to have to wait a little bit. I'm busy cooking, or whatever. I got the dogs to feed. As soon as I get there, I'll be with you. And whether I fume about that, that's my problem at that point. But I have to be accepting of it, because I have to realize too, you can't just snap fingers. You don't own people. So it's out of the goodness of their heart. So honest conversations, and remembering that we came in that way and we're going to go out that way. And so it's a normal part of life. It should be something that, and it will be something you get used to. You may dislike it a lot at first, but it will become a new norm. And I don't like new normals. I never have. But again, this is just one of them that at first, but now it's fine and normal. Julie?
Our slogan is thrive where life finds you. So that's what we want for everyone. But in those times of transition or struggle, just know that there is hope. It's just a season right now, and there is hope, and you are not alone. I know a lot of times we can feel very lonely. So the best suggestion I would have is to reach out. Especially if you feel lonely, just find someone that you can talk to, that you can share. And if you don't have anyone in that close circle of your family or friends, then we're here. We may not have all the answers, but we can certainly listen and share our experiences. So that's the biggest thing. There's hope, and we know you can come out the other side. You're not alone.
Tomorrow will happen, regardless of what today is going on. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow will happen too. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I want to take this time and this opportunity to thank you for entrusting us, Life and In Between, and sharing your story. For our listeners, please reach out, share this video, share this, this podcast, so that the word can get around. And we are so appreciative of having you here. Excuse me.
It's nice to be on the other side of the mic. Yeah. It's nice to be on the other side of the mic for us hosting the SwagAbility show. Good time to end, because the hounds are calling above our dogs.
Yes.
Super. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. This is great. And then for our listeners out there, if you're listening, you can always find us we're out there on all platforms. And Patrick, like always, share where can our listeners find us?
Spotify, Apple, iTunes, wherever you find your podcast, look us up. Life and In Between podcast. Love to hear from y'all. Visit our website. You'll find a delicious assortment of all of our podcasts.
Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you for our listeners, and peace. And we love you all.